All right. Let's see if it's working this time. I'm going to see if anyone wants to join up, see if they got a notification first before I do anything. Darren said that the first try on this stream, the reception on YouTube was incredibly choppy, and we confirmed it. Well, by we, I mean NB and Elihu did. So, and LDG is back.
Yo.
All right. Have you checked it on YouTube to see how it sounds?
Not yet.
All right, because again, I can't do it right now.
Let's see here.
At least I don't think I can.
3. Hello, everybody. You sound fine. Yeah, you sound fine. Shit.
Okay, NB, wave to the camera just to make sure. All right.
All right.
Elias says he's on his way back. And it's not choppy this time?
No, it's
yeah,
fine.
I'm not hearing choppy on the CNA part. Yeah, I'm not hearing it on this part. Yeah, sounds like we're good. Sounds like we're good, Mike. So what you been up to this week, Mike?
Tuesday, I had to buy a new car. Yeah, all right. I figure that's Elihu since he's flipping me off.
All right. How new of a car?
It's a 2014.
Okay.
I got it because it was the right price for the right amount of miles.
What were the miles?
It's got a hair above 100,000 miles, and it's a Mazda 5.
Okay. What was the price?
Which 75 even, and I mean even.
Oh, that's a good deal.
That's including taxes, registration, everything, the whole 9.
That's a good deal. Very good deal.
In case you haven't asked, on YouTube, on the YouTube, I'm old. It's crystal clear, the sound.
Yeah, the whole thing is, my wife actually asked the mechanic one time, she goes, "Oh, when should you get rid of a vehicle?" And he's like, as long as you as long as you get the engine service, it'll run forever.
But some vehicles require a lot more servicing than others.
Yeah, well, nowadays they do. That's why I think a lot of people, or a lot of men, I've been seeing this trend on TikTok a lot. Like this one guy, he had a pre-2000 vehicle, opened up the hood. I swear I thought I died and gone to heaven. Because I'm like, oh shit. I can find the fan belt, I can find the spark plugs, I can find the radiator, I can do everything I could do with my first vehicle, which was a 1985 Dodge Ram Mini Cab.
Oh, that is funny. You know what my first vehicle was?
What?
An 85 Mitsubishi light duty pickup.
Right.
You know what my first vehicle was? It was a little Hot Wheel.
I was going to say a scooter.
It was a little Hot Wheel.
Elihu, have you ever actually owned a vehicle in your life other than a scooter?
No. I've lived in a big city my whole entire life, so there's no practical effort for me to ever get a car because public transportation would take me anywhere I want in the city.
Yeah, that makes sense for you. I understand.
I've never ever had the need to get a car.
Hey, if that works for you.
Sorry. When I was I may have told the story before. I got my license at 15. and I got it specifically because they were literally changing the law 3 days after I turned 15 in California, so you could not get your license until you were 16, period. So I had a 3-day window to get my license, and I got my license. I had bought my first truck already. I had bought it when I was 14. And to me, having a car was just the ability to get out of the house, and it was freedom.
Yes. See, that's the thing my kids don't really understand now is back in our day, the Gen Xers and the Zillennials, we had goals. 16, get that car so you can get that job. You know, graduation, get your first apartment. The whole goal was the freedom to get the fuck out of your family's house.
Yeah.
And now these kids nowadays, they don't seem to have this big interest in leaving the nest.
Yeah, if you don't do that by the time you're 18, you're kicked out.
NB, that's because they have a different idea of what freedom is. For them, freedom is that cell phone of theirs.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
on their cell phone, they can be whoever they want to be with the group of friends that accept them for who they are. They don't have to go out to find those people. Those people are all with them on the same World Wide Web.
Yeah, exactly. The values changed. And I mean,
the way it should be. I mean, you shouldn't have to kick your kids out at 18. That whole idea is
no.
all.
Not. I'm not saying kick your kids out at 18. What the point was, what I was saying with Vile Mike and someone like me, is the idea was you wanted to get out.
Yeah.
The point was, it wasn't that you thought you were going to get forced to get out. It was you wanted out. You wanted to get out of that house. You wanted freedom.
It was more like you wanted to get away from your parents, not that you wanted to get out. If your parents left,
that's
you'd
exactly
stay at the
the
house.
same thing, LDG.
I remember I was that age.
Come on, man. We wanted the freedom.
You had freedom. You have so much. You have more freedom with your parents than a lot of kids took advantage. They didn't realize how much freedom they actually had.
We didn't realize it
until they went out.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, we believed in goals. 16, 18, 21, 25.
It wasn't just that. For me, I grew up, my dad had 5 kids total. My mom had 2 kids. Everything I ever had to be shared with everybody.
Yep.
But when I bought my truck, even if I couldn't legally drive it yet, I had a piece of paper from the government saying, this belongs to you. I had a title.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, it was something I didn't have to share with my little brother. It wasn't something I had to, let anyone borrow or play with or modify without my permission.
It was yours.
So what? It's just materials. It doesn't matter. It's just material objects.
It did matter.
You can get a new car.
For a 14-year-old, it meant a lot.
You an only child?
Hey, before you beat me up here,
I'm just
before you beat me up, NG. I have 2 half sisters, but that's besides the point.
No,
I'm just trying to. I'm trying to speak for the people who are the other side of the fence there, NB, and you got to let other people talk, please, dude. I'm only trying to give support to the other side of the conversation. Not everybody thinks like that.
I'm not saying everyone does.
All right.
I'm saying that's. I'm
not saying you are either. I'm just telling you from other perspectives. Material objects. Material objects. You can get a new car. You can get your own car living at your parents' house. You don't have to. Again, just like when someone's talking, shut the hell up, dude. You can get your own car and not have to share it with any. Oh my god, dude. All right, I'm out of here. Later, guys. Dear Lord, can't even have a conversation, man. The fuck? Learn how to have a conversation. There's a reason why big YouTubers are big YouTubers, and you're not.
I don't.
Fuck. Are you talking about me?
No, I'm talking to NB.
Wow, what a dick. Sometimes. Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear his side of the perspective right now. We weren't done yet.
But the reason I had to buy a new car is because my other car got impounded.
Ooh, yeah, I've had that happen once.
Oh, yeah. It got impounded because, well, let's just say it was a combination of a corrupt cop and a really bad excuse because I hadn't broken any laws, but my one passenger did.
Oh, God. So, oh, Lord. Look,
I'm not going to go too much into it.
Look, all I'm saying is I could maybe understand Pickles is there, but he's always going to the extreme. It's like, no, you're going on the other side. That was a minority of the other side at our age. The goals were, my wife can say it, you can say it. We have specific goals in our lives. 16, get our vehicle, get a job. Why? That meant freedom. 18,
basically,
at 18, after graduation, we wanted to get our own apartment. Why? It was freedom. Yeah,
no curfew.
Hey,
well, I stopped having a curfew by the time I was a freshman in high school. So,
yeah, same here. I didn't even have I mean, now of course there was a legal curfew, but I was normally out that late anyway. But I didn't have
my father gave me a curfew.
My father worked nights.
My father gave me a curfew.
I had
10 p.m.
I had no curfew. By the time I was a freshman in high school, I had no bedtime. It was just the simple fact was I was expected to get my ass up, get on the bus, and get my fucking ass to school. So I did.
Well, by the time I was a sophomore in high school, I was living in my dad and stepmom's guest house.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my own little place, separate from the main house. Granted, it didn't have a shower, but it still, had a toilet and a sink. But so if I needed a shower, I had to go up to the main house. But it had a single room and a garage, and then in the middle was the little toiletry area.
So interesting story there. My buddy Ogre, TJ, my best friend for a long time, who I still talk to occasionally whenever he's available. And he was a big guy. He lived with his dad. His dad was, well, like most dads at that time, a fucking loser. He lived in the basement. And he didn't have a toilet down there, but he had a shower.
So I pissed in the toilet. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't have that, but he had a shower. Literally, there was a shower, there was a drain hole there, and there was just a little curtain.
So you're saying he had to do the old waffle stomp?
Yeah, basically. Oh, I did it too. I took shower. Oh, I took showers in it too. Not with him, obviously. Yeah, I want to dispel that. He might have been the one who experimented during high school. I didn't. Actually, quite a few of my friends experimented during high school. And I'm not talking the drug related way.
Yeah. But like things have definitely changed to the point where Vile Style and the other Vile child that's not Caddy, for Christmas, their mom's friend bought them piercings. Now, the mom gave permission, and one of them got her belly button pierced, which is fine. She can hide it. It's not a big deal. Vile Style, on the other hand, got her lip and her eyebrow pierced.
I've got my eyebrow pierced.
She's 14. Yeah, she already had to remove one earring because while it was healing, she couldn't stop playing with it. And that's my issue is I don't think even at her age, at 14, I don't think is responsible enough to take care of it properly.
Well, that's the legal age. My daughter got her septum pierced at 14, and she had waited very patiently because that was the earliest age Indiana would let her do it. And she you know, as someone who's had more piercings than my wife, okay, and I'll give you an example. I've had, hey, Cam, and I'll give an example. When I was, you know, I have an eyebrow piercing. Both my ears are pierced, but when I was in the Air Force, I couldn't have those things. But I was in great shape, and I met this girl in Reno and ended up getting my nipples pierced and had that in for a long time until I put on a lot of weight. And I was like, okay, this isn't attractive anymore.
Yeah.
But, you know, I told my daughter when she got it. No, when I told my daughter.
I did not know there was a legal age to have your ears pierced because
not your
ears pierced all the time.
No, not your ears. Okay, there are age limits on certain part of yours, like that center part of your ear. That okay, I don't know what it's
cartilage.
Called.
The cartilage.
This part right here.
Yeah,
the little
You have to be a certain age. You have to be a certain age to get that pierced. You have to be a certain age to get your nose pierced. You have to be a certain age to get your eyebrow pierced. You have to be a certain age to get your navel pierced. You have to be a certain age to get your privates pierced if you want to do that. There are age restrictions on this based on whatever state you're in.
Well, in my state, apparently all you need is one parent to agree to it, not both. So,
I don't know how it is in Indiana. I mean, I agreed to my daughter having it done because I knew it's what she wanted, and she had spent years wanting it, so I didn't care. And you know, my wife said something similar to that, and I'm like, well, I just figure one of us has got to be up there to sign for it, and that's it. And it's like, it's not like I'm approving it. Now, look,
one of my issues.
Now, when it comes to the divorced family thing, I don't know. It kind of comes down to the physical legal custody issue. That's all I'm going to say with that.
It's a big, complicated thing with these kids. So,
yeah, exactly.
But like you, MB, I had my nipples pierced at one point.
Okay.
Now, I got rid of them because a friend of mine who didn't like the idea of me having my nipples pierced grabbed my right nipple and twisted it, nearly ripping it out. So because of that, I literally have a lump of scar tissue and very little feeling in my right nipple.
That was bullshit.
So
okay, I'll give you an example in my wife's family. Now, you know I'm Catholic, right?
I don't always remember, but yeah.
Okay, so you know I'm Catholic. Well, you know I'm Christian, right? You know at least that basic.
Well, I know you're Christian, but
yeah, I'm Catholic.
Catholics are against piercings and tattoos.
Yes, I know that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm very well aware of that. In fact, this was something that my one of my sister-in-laws pointed out. She's a Messianic Jew. And my wife started getting tattoos because, and she doesn't have a lot. She doesn't have as many as me. But she had been, you know, on that curiosity, you know, about tattoos. And I was going to get a tattoo. And I said, well, honey, if you're curious about it, why don't you just come up, watch me get a tattoo, and you can get an idea of what it's like. You know, I didn't pressure her or anything. So she went up there. I was getting my tattoo done, and she started looking through things, and she got her own tattoo. Her first tattoo was a little butterfly. Then her next tattoo was 2 roses, one blue, one red, representing her 2 kids with me. Then we had an anniversary one on our backs where she had Beauty across her back. I had Beast. And then she eventually got a whole set of Morning Glories put around Beauty. So, you know, but my sister-in-law calls that mutilation. I said, so are your piercings. I said, that's mutilation. I said, you put earrings in your ear, that's body mutilation.
Yeah, the Bible even says you not even bodies and temples are not supposed to even harm it or do any harm to it, like a tattoo.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're supposed to treat your body like a temple. I don't, but here's the thing. I am treating my body like a temple. Also, a McDonald's drive-through.
Hey, they have arches. There's arches you cross under, man. Hey, worship the arches.
I treat my body like a temple. It's just more of an Aztec temple. I sacrifice it.
So, oh, guys, I know you all heard about that CEO from the insurance company that got gapped.
Okay, NB, did you notice it was on the first one, not the second one. The thumbnail I used?
Nah, I missed it.
All right, Elihu, can you go to the blue sky and show the image I posted?
Hang on a second.
What's blue sky?
Blue sky.
It's the new Twitter.
Oh, that other site. Okay.
I don't go there that often, but I'm using it as opposed to Twitter because I'm just tired of Twitter and Elon.
What are you talking about?
Okay, I posted it like the day after of the shooting. It's the Obama style poster.
All right, give me a minute while you guys are looking that up. I'm gonna go Jaloja.
If you can show it, because I can't show it since I'm on the phone right now.
Hang on a second. Let me try something, okay?
I haven't posted that many things. It should be right there.
See. Damn it,
I was thinking, can you share it via StreamYards so I can show people?
I can't. It won't let me.
It won't let you share the screen?
No, because I don't have Blue Sky on this device.
Oh.
All right. Well, what did you say?
Oh, click on that link, NB.
The picture where he's smiling, I took that and I did the Obama modification to it, and instead of it saying change, it says Second Amendment.
Click on the link.
What link? Oh, okay. Is this the blue sky link? Well, okay, well, let me even see this because I don't have a blue sky account.
I don't have TikTok. It lets me see TikTok, so it should let you.
Oh, Second Amendment. Oh, hold on a second. Let's see if I can share it. On you, half-ass bitch.
It's biatch. Pronunciation.
Biatch. Yeah, here we go. All right, is this what you're talking about, Mike?
And yes.
Okay.
Now, originally, I was trying to do this, but I couldn't get it to work. I was trying to put the NRA logo in that blank corner space in the top left.
Well, that's easy to do.
But I couldn't get it. I couldn't do it on my phone, and my laptop's out of commission right now.
What's going on with your laptop again?
No, basically because let's just say parts were left in the van when it got impounded. I have the laptop, but I can't keep it charged.
Oh, God. Just buy a replacement charger.
I am fucking broke, dude. You have no idea how broke I am.
And you wanted to buy my Stranger Things cookbook, please.
Yeah, that was before all this shit happened.
Well, I do have some good news for you guys, at least.
Well, hold on. You wanted to talk about the CEO, dude. I just wanted to show that because yes, I heard about it and I made fun of it.
Yeah, the CEO thing. Here's where I got I found things hilarious. Was people were calling this guy a hero, and it's from a certain group of people, and you got the mainstream media like, why are they celebrating this? He was a fun man. It's like he was the CEO of an insurance company. What more do you need to know? These guys, I think right now, beat out lawyers as the most hated people in America.
Oh, hell yeah. I would definitely agree with you there.
I thought it was kind of funny when I was seeing the clip on Fox News talking about this group is vilifying this man as a hero. Now let's talk about Kyle Rittenhouse. How I was sure Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with the hypocrite?
Well, at least Kyle Rittenhouse's acquittal was based on factual evidence. The point of the matter. Okay, look, we can agree to disagree on this.
I would, as I said, I wouldn't necessarily say it was factual evidence. It was a legal technicality.
Yeah, the only problem I have with Rittenhouse is bringing a gun across state lines for protests. It's the only problem I had with it. If he did not bring a gun and somehow he found a gun and did something, then I'd be okay.
No, he
didn't. But he brought a gun.
Yeah, Elihu, you gotta actually read the court documents. He didn't bring it across state lines. It was his mother or grandmother that did it.
No,
something like that.
Already at the house where it was supposed to be until he turned 18. But because of the size of the muzzle and everything, he was legally allowed to carry it at 17. Okay,
but I'm just saying, it was. Yeah, he did not. That's not the law he broke, as far as I'm concerned.
No, he did not break that law. But anyway, I'm not getting into the Kyle Rittenhouse thing because I knew that's where this would go. Okay, but let's not get into that. Okay, that's a completely separate case. What happened here is with this CEO, okay, they're trying to call this an assassination. No, it's not an assassination. What happened to Trump was an assassination attempt. That's normally based on political or ideological things. This
I would disagree. I would definitely call this an assassination.
No, I call it an execution because an execution is to send a message.
An execution in the legal sense is the state killing somebody for a crime they've committed. He was not acting as part of a state. He was acting as an individual.
No,
the definition of assassination is the willful unaliving of a prominent person, often for political or ideological reasons, typically carried out through a sudden or secretive attack. It can also refer to the act of harming someone's reputation, treacherously known as character assassination.
What about execution then?
That has nothing. The E word is nowhere in this definition.
This guy was not assassinated; he was executed. I believe there is a difference between two.
Ideological reasons. That's one of the reasons why I was called assassination.
Execution.
Not political.
Yeah.
No, that E word is nowhere. Watch with your words with YouTube. The E word is nowhere in any of that definition.
What I'm saying is, everything streams to an execution, which means personal. This was personal. Executions are generally personal, and they're to send a message.
Well, I don't think an execution necessarily needs to send a message, but we can quibble over the definition. My big thing was, unlike the school shootings that happen regularly, and which we all know that is a hot button issue with me because, I was at a school shooting where 2 people were shot in front of me.
Feliz Navidad, Mrs. Cardenas.
Hey, Mrs. Cardenas.
I just restarted. I started a new stream, Darren. I don't know what happened with the first one. But
I put the definition in there. Sorry.
I really the humanist in me feels bad for the guy for getting killed because he did have a family. He did have people who cared about him. But on the other side of the spectrum, I'm having trouble sympathizing with him, particularly about him being killed.
I have no sympathy or empathy. I mean, come on. Like I said at the beginning, the insurance companies are more hated. Insurance CEOs and things like that are hated even more than lawyers anymore.
Hey guys, as a reminder, hang on, as a reminder, YouTube algorithm, watch that K word used unalive.
Oh, unalive.
I'm a small channel. What's the worst they're gonna do?
They can still just be careful with your language, dude.
All right, I'll work on it. But seriously, the whole thing is, yeah, it's kind of hard for most everyday American, and I think that's why the legacy media doesn't quite understand. It's like, dude, I may be a conservative, but I'm not stupid and blinded to what's going on in the medical insurance company. Look, I am the first one to say we have great medical care in this country. We have excellent medical care. The problem is this fucking dicking around with the insurance company. And I'm going to bring this up as an example. You go into see your doctor, you go into the urgent care, you go into the ER. What's not available? You have no idea how much any of this is going to cost you. And then you get your bill.
Well,
and now, hold on a second, Mike. Then you get your bill, and you might as well not even pay that until you get the second bill a few months later, because that's when your insurance has finally negotiated their fucking price.
Yeah. It wouldn't. Don't you think it would be a little bit better, NB, if we had like a single payer system?
I think that is an extreme that I do not think the majority of American people would go with. I do think that when it comes to the medical system, which we have a great system with, but this dick swinging between them and the insurance companies, I think needs to be reined in. Yes,
you do understand that a single payer. You do understand. Hang on. You do understand that a single payer system basically caps prices of medical costs, right?
I'm talking about yes, but you are talking about a far idea that I do not think will pass. Now, listen.
But it works in Canada.
Hold on a second. Let me finish. If California, do you think that if Gavin Newsom right now or a future governor was able to propose a single payer health care program, do you think it would pass?
Yes, we have that in San Francisco. Hang on. We have that in San Francisco. He did that in San Francisco when he was mayor. It passed, and it's basically free health care for low-income, homeless, disabled vets. It works here in San Francisco. That's why it's basically working in California with low cost.
Okay, how does it work?
And I would say, hold on, NB. And I would say, hold on. I don't live in San Francisco. I live in the southern part of the United States, or California. I would argue that if it was put to a vote, I would be in favor for it, even though I know it's going to be a huge burden tax-wise on the state of California, because I guarantee you there will be people from outside of California that start coming to California just to get medical care and then leave.
And do you think that's fair?
It doesn't matter. I would still support it.
Okay.
Healthcare is healthcare.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I respect you guys. Hey, I'm not arguing with you guys. I respect you guys.
I don't care if
I'm saying. But what I'm saying is,
hold on, NB. I don't care if some poor ass person from Arizona who can't afford medical care in Arizona has to come to California to get care in that situation, because I know that in some small way I'm going to benefit from that person being healthy.
I don't care if an illegal, if an undocumented person from this country is sick and needs health care and they are fully accepted. Yeah, let them. Healthcare is healthcare.
Well, isn't that what Reagan did? That's why there's a subsidy for ERs because they cannot deny medical care.
People don't like single payer because health insurance companies lose profits and monies, and these billionaires
and not only that,
lose their fortunes. Yeah.
If you want to talk about the elites, all the elites, at least when it comes to the political elites in this country, already use a single payer healthcare system that we pay for.
They mostly live on. Well, they mostly
the politicians.
Anyway, if you look at, well, I mean, Mike, if you look at, state of, most elections over the last few years, actually over several decades, the coastals, the really coastals on both sides are very Democrat. They are very Democrat. There's no way to say it any different. The coast is mostly Democrat. Majority wise, what? Trump won California by what? 2+ million votes?
I think I couldn't tell you the exact numbers without looking it up, and I'm here.
Oh, I could look it up for you. Yeah. Harris won by almost over 3 million votes. Yeah, she won over 3 million votes there. Can't do the math in my head here, but she got over 1 million in Oregon, and Donald Trump got less than 1 million. Washington, she beat him by almost double digits.
And I would also argue, Darren, that I'm not necessarily like what I said is I would prefer a single payer system, but I am also, a capitalist. I know that might be shocking to you, considering how much of a socialist I also am. What I like is the idea of the government-supported option as well as a capitalistic option, just like the United States postal system. We have the USPS. Now, just because the USPS exists does not mean that UPS, FedEx, DHL, and all those other companies, including Amazon, don't also deliver products or mail.
Yeah, they're private companies.
Yeah, those are private companies. They're still able to thrive despite a cheaper option usually being present, being the USPS. Because a private company could offer certain things quicker than the government option, which is why you would still have, which is why you'd still have a medical insurance side that other people could pay into, and it would be more of like, I want a nose job next week, not necessarily in 6 months. So I will have my insurance company negotiate to get my surgery done faster.
Now, is this medical surgery or cosmetic surgery? Since you mentioned
I said nose job, but it could be almost any surgery that's not life-threatening.
Isn't that called cosmetic surgery, though?
Well, not a nose job, yes, but it could be almost anything, like gastric bypass.
Most insurance companies I know of don't cover cosmetic surgeries unless they involve a medical issue. Okay, no. Hold on a second. I'm going to give you an example. Hold on a second. I'm going to give you an example. So this girl I knew back a long time ago in Florida, her name was Brittany. She was kind of my girlfriend, but it was 14, so it's really relevant. Anyway, as she got older, her breasts got bigger. To like F cup style.
Yeah.
She went full Dolly.
No, I think Dolly has D's.
Well, Dolly had D's as a high school. She had reductions, 2 reductions.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
So
she had a form of macromastia.
Just let me finish. So what Brittany had to do was she had to get her insurance company so she could get a breast reduction because her front side was so heavy it was hurting her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't, this, her insurance company approved it because this was not cosmetic. This was medical issues. You understand what I'm saying? That's all.
I do understand that. I actually dated a girl before Mrs. Vile who had a breast reduction surgery, but she had to pay for it out of pocket because her insurance company classified any sort of breast augmentation as cosmetic, even if it was to alleviate back pain.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah. And
You
it
see,
cost her
most
like
insurance
I want to say it cost her $13,000, but I'm pulling that number out of my ass because I don't remember exactly how much she said it cost. But
Yeah.
the worst part for her was she suffered from something called sorry?
What state was this in?
At the time it was either Washington or Oregon. I don't remember.
Really? You see, the insurance company that approved her medical breast reduction was Florida.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was in Florida.
But the thing is, she suffered from something called macromastia, which basically meant her breasts kept growing. So even after the breast reduction surgery, she would need another one in several years because her breasts would just keep growing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was a hormonal issue that couldn't be taken care of just with pills. But yeah, it could be a problem. But almost anything can be considered cosmetic or be denied for stupid reasons. To this day, I suffer from a disease where my body cannot process certain simple sugars found in garlic and onions and related vegetables, right?
Yeah.
All right. All my doctors know I suffer from this disease because I have every single one of the symptoms, and my symptoms are alleviated. Sorry?
Do you wear a band?
No. But let me explain. The doctors all know I have it. They know that the medication they prescribe for it is alleviated when I take the medication, but they can't actually prescribe me the medication because I ended up having to go to Mexico to get it.
Oh, is that the one you're always talking about you get in Mexico?
No, that's my acid reflux pill. That's a different thing. But the reason they can't prescribe me the medication is because the test to confirm it costs around $2,000. And my insurance company does not consider that a life-threatening enough test to pay for it. So if I want to pay for it, it has to be out of pocket.
Damn.
I've had two referrals I've tried to go through. Okay, guys, you remember last year when I had that real big scarring issue going on my body, all those lesions and everything?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Well, I got misdiagnosed 3 fucking times. Twice by urgent care, once by my PCM, and my doctor's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get a referral for you to dermatologist. Yeah, it'll be within a week." 4 months later, nothing. I get a I'm like, fuck it. I call a dermatologist in Terre Haute. I pay out of pocket for the $120 and just hope that my insurance company, they said they took my insurance. So hoping, because the one thing that nobody did the whole time was do a biopsy on me. I mean, shit. The one thing you would think would have happened. But it took the dermatologist, and thankfully, when I came back the next time, I had a $20 copay and everything was covered. So I got the biopsy done finally found out what autoimmune issue I had and got the cream and some medicine, but I stopped taking the medicine real quick because the side effects were just horrific. So I just put the cream on, and after a year, it finally healed up. I mean, you can't really see hardly any of it anymore. I'm surprised how much little scarring you can see. But yeah, it's fucking bullshit. And you guys know me. Like I said, I'm a conservative. What do I believe in? Reasonable regulations. I think this needs to be regulated better because they're getting away with way too much. And we have this dick contest between the fucking medical companies and the medical insurance where they're like, well, we want to charge 100 bottles. We want to charge $100 for a bottle of aspirin. The fucking insurance company only wants to pay $50. And it's like, oh, well, we got screwed out of $50. Oh, see, we saved you $50. Oh, for 3 cents a pill. For a pill that costs 3 fucking cents.
Yep.
Give me a goddamn fucking break and tell me this system is corrupted.
Oh, like, NB, do you know why the test for my little intolerancy to onions and garlic costs so much?
No.
Because approximately 1 out of 100,000 people have the disease. And most of the people who have it don't even realize they have it. Which means there's not a huge demand for the test, so the manufacturer has to charge this large amount to cover the cost of it. The test itself costs like $7. But because of the...
I'm hoping, and you know, I saw this thing with Whoopi Goldberg and her anger against Robert Kennedy talking about diet and exercise, and she's talking about, oh, well, I was almost 300 pounds and I'm taking this medication and now look at that. It's like, okay, do you not get what he's talking about? You're talking about a quick fix drug. Look, I've got type 2 diabetes. I've got high blood pressure. Even when I was 175 pounds and the peak of physical fitness, I was always borderline. It was genetic. So eventually it caught up to me. I've lost almost 35 pounds now in the past year. I really had to focus on changing my diet. One thing I had to do, unfortunately, I had to cut out a lot of beer. Just a fact. And now I'm eating better. I'm losing weight. I'm feeling healthier. I'm not having episodes like I did. I changed my dietary nutritions. I don't eat a lot of if I eat food, it's not processed, or most of it's not processed, because that affects my stomach. So, you know, getting there and sitting there bitching about fat shaming. When I hear these people bitch about fat shaming, I'm like, fuck you, I'm a fat fuck. You know, just
damn it.
The only person on here who's not a fat fuck is Elihu. He's a beanpole.
Yeah, and I'm proud of it.
Let's go.
Well, I think when they're talking about fat shaming is they're trying to make someone who is fat feel bad for being fat, even if it's not necessarily their fault.
And let's face the person is fat, right? Saying that.
I with my job and with everything else that goes on, I know one of the reasons I'm fat is because I eat out a lot. And the reason I eat out a lot is because I don't want, but when I'm out and about, I don't want to go home and cook something. I want something hot, fast, and tastes good.
Yeah, you're tired.
And half the time, hold on. And half the time, the way I order things, it can be cheaper for me to go to a fast food restaurant than it could be for me to go to a grocery store to get everything to make the same meal.
It's cheaper to actually go to the grocery store than fast food here.
Well, maybe where you are, like
yeah,
but okay.
Hold on, I'll give you an example, Elihu. A couple nights ago, I just wanted something hot and fast, so I used the Jack in the Box app. Got 2 chicken sandwiches and a large soda for $4. Now, if I wanted to go to the supermarket, and just get 2 chicken patties, 2 buns, the lettuce, the mayo, and a 2-liter of soda would have cost me around $10.
Yeah, but you'd got a lot more meals out of it.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about just getting the 2 patties.
You don't get it that way. You know that.
No, they have that option here. You actually have 2 patties on a little styrofoam tray wrapped up in plastic.
Well, Jack in the Box has the free onion rings today with the $1 order.
Oh God, you missed a Jack in the Box.
Again, I'm not going to eat those because I don't have my pills.
Yeah, my thing is I can't really do fast food anymore. It bothers my stomach. My health issues have just. I have to switch to more healthier functions to get myself going. But it's genetics. Look, I understand some people. Look, I understand some people things are genetic, like me. High blood pressure and type 2 diabetes were genetic. It was going to happen no matter what. I gained 65 pounds. I was 265. That didn't help. I was drinking a lot of beer, even though I was spreading it out. I mean, guys, I was drinking a 12-pack a fucking day.
What the hell was that?
Me.
Well.
Oh, did you hear about this?
But hold on. But basically, that's why considering all the issues we're talking about with the healthcare system that we have here, yeah, it's hard for me to have sympathy for the guy. And Darren's little comment here earlier, saying that Brian Thompson came from the lower middle class and his murderer was more elite than he was. It doesn't matter if he was from lower class or lower middle class or whatever you want to say. It's where he was at the time, and the power that he wielded probably ended up with causing the deaths of a lot of people. Or even if it wasn't, even if you want to argue he didn't cause any deaths, it still causes suffering for untold thousands of people.
Hey, if it was his policies as CEO, where do we say the buck stops at the top?
Well, at least it should, but
yeah, but people say, "Well, I don't know the day-to-day operation." Would I hear a CEO say, "Well, I don't know the day-to-day operations"? It's like that's not a good enough excuse, buddy.
Yeah, that's kind of like being ignorant of the law.
Exactly. What was it? What is it? The Grand Nagus said, "Stupidity is no excuse."
Yeah.
So yeah.
NB, to go completely off topic since we were talking about the tariff stuff.
Yeah. That was a few weeks ago.
All right. The manufacturer of the 7-Eleven coffee cup lids is going out of business now.
How?
Okay. The manufacturer of the 7-Eleven coffee cup lids, the ones that were actually, had the license to put
logo on it.
Yeah. Okay. So this was an American company that got permission from 7-Eleven corporate to put the logo of 7-Eleven on it so they could sell those lids to every 7-Eleven across the country.
Okay.
They are going out of business because the fears of the tariff caused the supply of the plastic pellets that they order from China to skyrocket.
Trump's not even in office.
Hold on. That's not what I said. What I said was the fear of those tariffs are causing other companies to buy up all the stock of these plastic pellets before the law goes into effect.
That's assuming it will go into effect.
That's, again, people are assuming it's going to go into effect. So a lot of companies are basically stockpiling the supplies. So because of other companies stockpiling the supplies, there wasn't enough for them to import the needed supplies they need to make the lids. So now, ironically, the lids are now being imported directly from China from another company because it's cheaper to order it from China than it is to have the American-made ones made with the Chinese plastic.
What can I say, man? I can't help what companies fear.
Made in America, my ass.
Hey.
Right.
Well, okay, for example.
Hold on. The lids were still made in America. They just used plastic from China.
So, Vile Mike, you want to hear something funny?
What?
This is just kind of funny. So, this is unrelated to that, but you'll like this. I think you will. So, my wife, when she spent a year in Turkey, right?
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she spent a year in Incirlik, Turkey, right near the Syrian border. And she ordered some yarn from Amazon. And she got it, and she ended up doing a video of it. It's like, y'all are not going to believe this. I'm here in Turkey. I order this fabric, this yarn on Amazon from a Canadian company, and she gets it, and look where it was made. It said made in Turkey.
Yeah.
It said made. My wife laughed so hard at that one. She was just cracking up. So she uses Amazon, gets a Canadian company, buys the yarn that was already made in Turkey and shipped over to Canada.
It's like getting canned fruit that's grown in South America, packed in Africa, and sold in America.
I remember when she showed me that. It was like, oh my God, that was so funny.
NB, speaking of the tariffs, do you remember when Trump was president last time when he said he was going to put 100% tariff on John Deere tractors, and he ended up doing that?
Can't say that one rings a bell at this moment.
Yeah, then what happened to John Deere?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you remember do you remember that whole thing?
No, I don't really remember the John Deere. No, I don't remember the John Deere thing. I'll have to look that up.
John Deere was going to move some of their manufacturing from their plant in, I want to say, Michigan, to their plant in Mexico.
Okay.
And because they were going to do that, they were going to have to lay off like a couple of thousand people in Michigan. And again, I'm not entirely sure if it was Michigan. It could have been another northern state.
Okay.
So Trump said he was going to put 100% tariff on John Deere on all completed tractors brought into the United States.
Okay.
Now, since you don't even remember what happened.
No, I can't say I remember that one.
Okay. How much did it hurt John Deere?
I'd probably say pretty bad.
Not at all.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Not a clue.
Because remember what the tariff was for all completed tractors brought into the United States that were made in Mexico.
So they were uncompleted.
But that's the thing. They were never going to be making the full tractors in Mexico. They were only moving cab production, as in the prefabricated cabs for for several different types of tractors. So, because the same cab can be used on different machine equipment, right?
I'm not a mechanic.
Well, it's basically they can put the same cab on multiple chassis. It doesn't really matter that much.
So it's a standard chassis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not the standard cab, different chassis.
Standard cab, different chassis. Okay. Yeah, okay. I don't remember hearing about that one.
So what's funniest about it is and this was a little documentary type thing I was watching. When the tariff was put in place, or basically John Deere's stock price fell. And yeah, that did hurt the company a little bit, but not as much as you might think. because
Mike, I don't keep track of the stock market.
Well, but here's the funniest part about it. When the stock price fell, the owners of the John Deere company used the lower stock price to buy back as many shares as they could while it was low, because they knew in the long term it wasn't going to wasn't going to hurt them, because the tariff wasn't going to affect them. It never was going to affect them. So it only benefited them in the long run. And now the majority owners, stock owners, own more stock, and no one even remembers the issue with John Deere.
Well, it's a funny thing. Remember I told you about Titan the Titans who built America? Well,
say that again?
Yeah, remember when I told you about that documentary I watched on the History Channel about Titans who built America?
Yeah.
The Rockefellers, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when Rockefeller's company was broken up, it was kind of ironic, because you had, at the time this was made, you had Senator Rockefeller IV, and he points out after breaking all of his companies up, he made more money than he did when he had the monopoly. He actually made more wealth after the breakup.
That's because he was still a majority stockholder as an individual over many of those smaller companies now.
Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. He was a majority stock owner in those companies. You are correct.
Yeah.
You are absolutely correct. That's what he did. They broke it up. He was still the majority stock owner, and he ended up making more money doing it that way than he did as a monopoly.
It's why, to me, the stock market is kind of ridiculous unless you own a majority of a specific, not a majority, but if you have enough money into each stock and enough of one stock. And I gave the example to a friend of mine who works at a Walmart up in Arizona. All right, so the individual Walmart stocks cost, I'm going to pull a number out of my ass because I don't remember what we talked about $100 a piece. And I'm pulling that number out of my ass.
Oh, I could check the Walmart stock for you right now.
Okay, if you want to do that.
Sure.
But it's probably even closer to 40. But I was just pulling a number out of my ass.
Closer to 40. Walmart stock price. Oh no, we're way off, man. $94.25.
Oh, so it was closer to the $100. Wow.
Yeah, go with 95.
Well, but I'm just saying. So let's use 100 because it's a nice round number. That's the only reason I really pulled it out of my head. Okay. Now each stock, I think at the time we were talking about this. This was about a year. No, God, it was only about 6 months ago. It just feels like a year. Each stock earns for the owner of that share like 3 cents per year. So yeah, you invest $100. At the end of the year, you have $100.03. You make more money off the trading of those stocks than just holding on to them, unless you own a shit ton of those stocks.
Where you can make decisions.
Well, not even if you make decisions, but like the Walton family owns so many shares of the Walmart stock that they earn over $4 billion a year just on their stocks.
That's out my scope, man. I don't know the stock market.
But I'm just saying, so an individual who owns like 10 to 100 shares, and even 100 shares is more than most people will own in a company, especially something along the lines of Walmart, are not earning a lot of money off of that stock. They own about 40% of all stock in Walmart.
Okay. One of the guys I used to work with, who was my boss, Sergeant Sloan, he had a very nice investment in Walmart stock. I think back then when he got it, it was $45 a share. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was about that time frame when it was $45 a share. I think he got it a little bit before then when it was a little bit cheaper, but the market was going out to $45 a share, so he was making profit. I don't know how much stock he had, but anyway, he got in trouble one time, and he got an Article 15 as a technical sergeant, and they fined him like $250, and he literally this was what a smartass this guy was. He goes, I guess I'll have to sell some of my Walmart stock. And yeah, that's what he did. He sold a couple of Walmart stocks to make the pay his fine.
Well, how much was his fine?
$500.
So if there's any stock splits, basically when they're saying the stock splits, that's if you own one share, you now own two shares. So usually when
your value increases, basically if you have $32, now you have $64.
So kind of like a buy one get one free.
Your money basically doubles. Yeah, your money doubles.
It's a way for your a company to basically sell more shares of their company.
How does it even set how many shares they have?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure it has something to do with the between the SEC or the SEC or SEC, sorry, and the stock exchanges.
Yeah, this is all outside my scope, man. This is why I don't mess with the stock market.
But like, for instance, the only stock company I own stock in is SDG&E, San Diego Gas and Electric. And the reason I have stock in that is because my dad bought me and my brother a couple of shares years ago. And basically, instead of giving us profits or sending us money each year, any money left over goes into buying more stock. And go ahead.
Oh, I went a different route for several years, and I'm about to get back into it. I went the precious metals route. I went with silver.
Savings bonds.
Well, at least you went with silver, not gold. Because did you hear about the gold deposit they found in China?
No.
Yeah.
Why did it take the market?
China just found underneath an already existing gold mine what they assume to be the largest basically load of gold that they've ever found in the entire planet, to the point where this single amount of gold could be 20% of everything that exists on the planet already.
Whew. No,
estimated about $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Nice. I went with silver because
hang on. Sorry. I just want to finish that statement because some economists are saying that the U.S. should now sell all of its gold and invest in bitcoins because it is fine.
No.
Yeah, some economists are not saying that now. I'm like,
I would definitely not do Bitcoin. I would do something along the lines of platinum, or what was the other one? Not silver.
Palladium.
Might have been palladium.
Why not vibranium or antimonium?
No, palladium is actually a valued coin, just like the other one I said. Platinum and palladium are.
I'm talking about precious metals. I'm not talking about actual electronic token shit.
No, I'm not talking about that. I think it's called palladium, or it's called something like that. I'd have to look it up. I'd have to look at my precious metal. The reason why I went with silver and not gold, one, gold's extremely expensive. Number two, silver is used more for things than gold is because it's a conductive material. It has value in many different ways. I mean, that was one of the reasons why we were having problems with getting circuit boards and stuff done, because there was a lack of silver. So, yeah, I went with silver. It seemed to be the best bet to go with. And
didn't Roosevelt confiscate the U.S. gold, private gold reserve? Private gold. Which president did that to raise gold prices?
The one person all I know is it was Nixon who got us off the gold standard.
Well, I know that one president basically ordered all U.S. citizens to turn their private gold stash for an upcoming war or something. Then the president raised the standard gold prices afterwards.
Who made gold illegal? Okay, who in the
I forgot who did that.
I don't think it was illegal.
No, it wasn't illegal. It was a call to arms to help the U.S. government. Private citizens turning your gold to the government, and then the president the next day signed an executive order raising the price of gold. I forgot which president did that. Come on, history buff, NB.
Sounds like something.
I'm working on it. You're talking too much. I'm trying to type.
I was going to say, sounds like something Hoover may have tried.
No,
yeah,
Hoover's biggest mistake was his administration did nothing about the Depression. Absolutely nothing.
No. Well, they did. It just everything they did.
No, they didn't do a damn thing. They thought it was transitory.
Well, I would go back. They did try some things. It just didn't work out the way they wanted it to.
No, they didn't. They didn't jack shit.
NB, I literally did a whole live stream about it. Remember?
FDR who made the sweeping changes.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay.
One of the things Hoover did is the thing I brought up in that live stream. I ended early when I was just doing the videos about the Mexican internment camps. That was under Hoover.
What was I supposed to be looking up again? Because you guys are talking to me and you're killing my ability.
I don't remember. Something about gold standard.
Which president ordered Americans to turn their private reserve, the private gold, like rings, watches, that sort of stuff, to help the American economy for some kind of war effort, I believe. And then the next day raised the standard gold prices by executive order. So basically, every American who had gold, if they had that gold, would have been richer. But no, the government basically said, nope, now we're richer.
Executive Order 6102. Yes, it was Roosevelt.
Thank you.
April 5th, 1933.
Okay, thank you.
The executive order goes, Franklin D. Roosevelt forbidding the hoarding of gold coins, gold bullion, gold certificates within the United States. The executive order is made under the authority of the Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917 as amended by the Emergency Banking Act of 1933. The limitations on gold ownership in the United States was repealed after President Ford signed a bill legalizing private ownership of bars, gold certificates, Act of Congress. Okay, so there you go. A little bit of history there. So it was Roosevelt, but it was Nixon who took us off the gold standard.
Yeah, after the audit, right?
I think so. I'd have to look more into that.
Yeah, because it was in the 70s when they last did the audit of the Fort Knox and opened the vault, right? That's when Nixon took it off the gold standard.
I think, you might be right. I'd have to look more into that. I don't have a lot of research on that. I'd have to look into it. I wonder if there's a documentary out there on that. I would think there would.
There is a documentary about Fort Knox audit. History Channel did a couple of them. I know that.
Okay, Fort Knox on it. Okay, I'll check.
If you really want to know about Fort Knox, there was this great documentary called Goldfinger.
Actually, that was so believable. They came over and were like talking to the writer. Yeah, I know that one, Elihu. They said that the story was so believable and so possible. It's like, we need to have a talk with you. Yeah, I heard about that about 6 years ago.
But one of the things I was going to talk about. Question. Because of the weird week I've had, I finally was able to catch up on a couple of shows.
Yeah.
Oh, you're finally getting to your topic.
Yes, to the topic I originally wanted to talk about. I haven't seen the last episode because I don't think it's been released yet, but I caught up to Lower Decks.
Okay.
Okay, last episode has not been released yet.
But I really, really enjoyed the last episode.
I was wondering what was going to happen with the guy. I'm like, come on, they got a couple episodes left. Are they going to close this little circle here? And all of a sudden, I'm like, finally, thank you.
All right, I'm going to plug real quick.
I'm trying to talk without spoilers. You know what I mean, Mike.
Oh, but just the fact that all the voice actors, they got to come back.
Holy shit, T'Pol.
T'Pol, Lily Sloan, or whatever their name was.
Yeah.
Garrick, Bashir.
Holy shit,
Garrick.
That lady from
everyone come back was just
Lily from First Contact. Yes.
Yeah. And in a way that is understandable. And part of it, the T'Pol part when they were explaining, her history is basically the history from the frickin' books.
I like that part. I was like, oh my gosh, Foynes, I think that's T'Pol. I love that line.
It was just, it warmed the Trekkie of my heart.
That's a great second last episode send off. That was a great one. Now they found a riff problem. How is Bournemouth going to fix this?
And it's like, oh, it's not even. And you're like, we got to find the assholes are doing this. Wait, they're not assholes. They're just like us.
Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the last season. I'm watching Dune Prophecy and Skeleton Crew. I got about halfway through the last episode of Skeleton Crew. I haven't finished it because it was late and I had to go to sleep. But I'm going to say overall, it's enjoyable. It's very much kind of, I think in a lot of ways, kind of captures a lot of, it's definitely for kids, but it's definitely a kids kind of show. But I think for a lot of us who grew up during the 80s, it does kind of have a little bit of that 80s nostalgia feel of just a couple kids in a boring environment going on an adventure. And, it's kind of a little bit like Goonies, Stand By Me.
I haven't seen it yet.
Because you haven't seen Goonies or Stand By Me? What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, I'll lie you shut up. Of course, I've seen those ones. I'm talking about Skeleton Crew, but the way you're describing it, it reminds me of the Ewok movies.
Maybe in some way, but it's far better.
Yeah, A Battle of Endor sucked. Sorry.
No, you find okay. So I'm going to give you one piece of spoiler, and that is this planet is kind of a bubble world. Do you know what a bubble world is?
One that's kind of separated off from the rest of the galaxy or something?
Bingo.
Okay.
That's what this planet is. They actually don't know. They don't even know that Alderaan's been destroyed.
They've never seen stars.
No, they've seen stars, but they're
no,
not.
They've never. The kids. Remember what the kids said? What are those? They've never seen stars. Right. Yeah. Nobody on the planet has ever seen stars.
One of the points also is these people don't know anything that's gone on, and people were complaining about it looked like a suburban area. I'm like, what? You can't have suburbs and you can't have the burbs in Star Wars? I'm like, give me a break. Why can't you have the birds in Star Wars?
Mike, this basically they're stuck in a certain time period before episode 3 happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
They
stuck.
are completely. That's why the kid is so fascinated with Jedi. He still thinks they're out there in the galaxy.
Yeah.
He doesn't know about. They don't know about the Jedi Purge. They don't know about. There's a scene in
before
there
episode
when
6.
said,
Yeah. Way
there's
before
a
this.
scene
Yeah.
in one episode where it was like, well, we learned about Coruscant and Alderaan, and goes, Alderaan, missed the war, did you?
What war? There was a war?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they are completely. They completely have no idea. Not only them, their parents don't even know. And here's why. Ships are not allowed to take off or leave. And they're not allowed, anybody does, you can't go past the barrier. What's the barrier? Hey, we'll find out.
Well, I look forward to it. I mean,
it's actually got a very nice. It's got some very nice stuff going on in it. I think Elihu, you seem to have seen it. Every one of those characters in there, I feel every one of those kids, I feel like somebody can identify with.
Neil, that little copycat.
Everybody
reminds me of my friend. Reminds me of my friend growing up.
What about, somebody mentioned the girl, what's her name? The tough one.
Yeah, the captain.
Yeah, the captain. And it's like, well, what do you think of her? It's like, she's a tomboy. I mean, that's what she acts like. And if I had to pick her friend, she's kind of like Data from the Goonies.
Yeah, she's Data.
Yeah. And then you got, the one kid who just couldn't help but push the button.
That's Neo.
Yeah.
Yeah, little copycat. I don't talk to my trunk.
But every one of these kids, and then you have his friend who is, what race is he?
Human. Oh,
no,
that's Neil. That's Neil. Neil is the elephant guy.
Yeah, I forgot what they're called.
Howdy, guys.
Well, anyway, he's the guy who is kind of like the more conformist. He admires his friend for his adventurous things, but he's more, I like the safe life kind of thing. Adventures kind of scare him. Oh, yeah, that funny scene about what you want to do as your career, Elihu. That was so good. I love that. That was literally like high school shit.
It's
maybe I'll watch it by the time next week. Also, just so you guys know, I will be taking the week of Christmas off from my job. It's literally the first vacation time I'm taking in like 5 years.
Yeah,
and it's mostly going to be to just not have to deal with everything.
You're taking a staycation.
Yes.
So you're not going to be on the 22nd?
No, I'll be on. In fact, I might be on more often. It just that way I'm getting paid not to work.
Oh, works for us.
Gotcha.
Just keep us. Just put it in the group chat. Let us know when you're going to be on. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I find Skeleton Crew to have. What do you think, Ryan? Kind of that go back to the fun childhood innocence of Star Wars.
It is kid oriented and kid directed.
Yeah, not everything in every franchise has to be deadly serious all the time. That's why I like.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I liked the Bad Batch. I liked. I still like Prodigy and Lower Decks. They're not as serious and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I liked that. I loved that. Dude, I loved Bad Batch. I thought it was a great show. I actually do like one of the things I liked about Bad Batch was one character I was specifically wanting to know about. What happened to Cody? What happened to Commander Cody? I wanted to know that. So, like, for example, another example, Picard Season 3. One of the reasons I loved it, something that I had been waiting for 30 fucking years. Ro and Picard to get that closure. Because that was an episode I'd refused to watch because it was like, we didn't get closure.
Well, remember, her character was supposed to be back for the Kira Nerys character was originally going to be Ro.
Yeah, it was going to be, but she didn't want to take the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was not. She said she wasn't ready to commit to a full-time show.
Yeah. And it's basically the amount of paid time off I've accumulated. That's why I'm taking it.
Yeah, it's paid vacation. Why not? But yeah, and then I would see these memes where it was like, yeah, I loved Picard Season 3. Okay, I'll make more Star Trek. Fuck. I'm like, and people are like, fuck. I'm like, hey, if you make good Star Trek, I'll watch it. That's it. You make good Star Wars.
Good actors.
You make good Star Wars, I'll watch it. I think Skeleton Crew is doing pretty good. I think Jude Law's a great actor. I'm curious to see what he does. I mean, obviously, he's a scoundrel.
Mm-hmm.
And we know he's force sensitive. And of course, you know, the kid, of course, he thinks he's a Jedi because, like we said, he's in a bubble. He's from a bubble world.
He never specifically said he was a Jedi.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. Well, I never actually said that. Which is true.
Yeah, he never confirmed or denied. Yeah, he did make a point. What was the point of escaping without a ship? Yeah, that was a good point.
I did like that. He's like, you could I don't have a ship. What's the point to escape? I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Logical. Hello, wait, yeah.
It's like, what's the point of escaping if I don't have a ship to get off? You know, that's like people who they'd be like, well, why didn't you escape Hanaway Hilton? It's like, I'm a white guy in Vietnam.
You are the high science guy. Toke.
It's like you're going to stand out like a sore thumb. It's not like you can walk around the streets of Ho Chi Minh back then, or what it was called. You know, you could walk through North Korea as a white guy going and doing that shit. It's like, come on, man. Or a black person. It's like, they're going to see you. They're going to see you a mile away. So it's like, what's the point of trying to escape? It's not like we're going to get very far.
Let's see. The other show I watched this week, I hadn't even heard about it before, but I saw a clip of it and I was like, that's funny. Let me learn more about it. Tacoma FD.
Never heard of it.
Okay. Do you ever watch Super Troopers?
I saw the movie a while ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, okay. A long time ago.
It stars two of the people from Super Troopers. It's basically Super Troopers in a fire department.
Oh, like Animal Control.
I haven't seen that one. And I'm
it's Super Troopers doing Animal Control.
But I'm enjoying the show. It was canceled.
Like a Reno 911 thing?
Yeah. Very similar. It's shenanigans at a fire station where they're still doing their job, but they get into wacky hijinks.
Animal Control.
Usually brought on by themselves. So, but I'm enjoying the show. I think it's funny. I've only watched the first season. It lasted 4 seasons total, and it was canceled like in 2022, I believe, or maybe 2021. But yeah, I thought it was funny. I'm enjoying it.
Eli, who?
Did you hang on a second? Did you see the series finale of Superman and Lois?
No, I haven't watched any of the the Superman show. I think since like season 2 halfway.
I think I'm actually going to watch it. I saw it available, and I watched a few trailers for it, and I watched a little bit of the final, and I'm like, I'm gonna take a look at this.
Finale sucked.
Well, I mean, is what it is, but I thought I'd maybe look at it, give it a shot. I mean, it looked a little interesting. I had just been out of the CW at that point because I checked out on them long ago after. I mean, the Arrowverse just became their holy grail, and they just went the wrong way with it.
Yeah, after Crisis, Supergirl basically went her own way. Superman and Lois went her own way. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Well, it's supposed to be one universe, not separate universes.
Well, I liked Crisis, but yeah, after Crisis is when I kind of lost interest in it too. And I didn't want to lose interest. It was just, it's like even the writers were like, okay, we did the big thing. Now what?
Yeah, everybody's supposed to be consolidated on one Earth. Now it's Supergirl's in her own Earth and Superman Lois is in his own Earth. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I didn't even make it that far. I got tired of the Team Arrow. It's like, we're a team, we're not a team, blah, blah, blah. I got bored with that. Flash started, now my son loved The Flash. He watched all of it. It got too soap opera-y for me. That's how I'm going to describe it. It just got very soap opera. And it's like, can't you find a villain who isn't a speedster?
It wasn't until the 4th season they did that. I mean, the first 3 seasons, it was all different speedsters, and even that was kind of
Reverse Flash, Zoom. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Godspeed.
Speedster. Yeah, Speedster. Yeah, it was a Speedster this year.
Yeah, and I mean, they didn't get to that to like season 4, and by then I had checked out of that show because it was just too soap opera for me, and I got tired of it. And
plus, the way they had to get rid of Plastic Man, the Elongated Man, just because his actor was a dickhole, they had to get rid of him, and it was like, I wish they'd rather replace the actor because I liked the character.
Dibley.
Yeah, the Elongated Man was the Elongated Man. Actually, there was a scene in the comic where he's like, "Oh, you're like Plastic Man." He goes, "No, Plastic Man is a clown. I'm a detective." So they made Elongated Man into a joke,
but it worked.
He was actually a very serious person.
That's one of the things that I've always liked about DC. You can take a very serious character and put him into a universe where everything they do is wacky and it can still work. And an example I'll give it to you, I was watching an interview with Alan Tudyk, okay? He played Clayface in the Harley Quinn show, and he played Clayface in one of the Arkham games, or Arkham movies, I believe. 2 completely different interpretations of the character, voiced by the same guy. One is a homicidal, maniac willing to kill anything and everyone. The other one is a very dapper English actor type. Same character.
I mean, it depends on.
And it works.
Well, that's one thing about DC. I mean, they got so many different versions of these characters they can revolve around. And I mean, I'm not saying there's anything bad with that. It was just, I got kind of tired of the same speedster thing, and I got tired of the soap opera thing, and I was pretty much focused on Legends of Tomorrow, but you guys, what's your views on X-Men 97 renewed for a 2nd season next year?
I usually put my response in.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, I thought the X-Men 97 was really well done. For me, it was a nostalgia. I completely understand. It was nostalgia bait. It worked on me. I loved it either way.
Well, I love the fact that when you had Jubilee go see Mojo, and we see everything in the 90s video game animation, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I'm like, they really grounded it back. I mean, you really could go back, get all the seasons of, watch all the seasons of X-Men, pop in 97 and feel like nothing, and watch 97 and like nothing's changed. Yeah, some people's voices have changed. Like the guy who originally did Gambit, he's doing Bishop now. Did you know that?
Yeah. No, but it makes sense because voices age.
Yeah. And some people they did have to get to be replaced voice actors. They got as many of them back as they could.
Jubilee.
Yeah,
but
I thought.
Yeah, well, hold on. I just want to say, the Chris Claremont run of X-Men, which is what the X-Men 93 show was based on, or 92, or was it 91? Fuck, I can't even remember. Is what got me into X-Men to begin with. Well, yeah, I read a couple of comics beforehand, but it was that run that made me fall in love with the characters. That version of Scott, that version of Jean Grey, that version of Wolverine before he blew up in popularity. That's why, watching the show was always so good for me, because it was so heavily influenced by the runs of comics of the time. I mean, some of them were like straight up just retellings of those comics.
Yep.
And X-Men 97 is doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell this was a lot of Chris Claremont stuff.
Yeah.
Easily. That's not even in question. But I do love how X-Men 97 came in and is picking up like No Time Is Gone. And yeah, it is nostalgia bait, but it works for people like us because we're like, oh man, I feel when I watched 97 for the first time and I started going through it, I'm like, I feel like a teenager again. I'm like, I just went back to being a teenager. Everything was the same. The art style, the talking, Scott's still doing his silly little quips. And I was like, yes. Also in X-Men 97 with Forge and Storm, God, that was a great story arc for Storm.
This is the first time in 20 years Marvel Studios has actually hit their primary target.
Yeah, us.
Oh, and
exactly.
One of my favorite lines that Apocalypse ever uttered was from the original X-Men 90s cartoon, not 97. When he did the whole line, I am as far above mutants as they are above humans.
Yep.
That line gave me chills back in the day. Because when I was that kid watching the show, me and my friends would, during recess or lunch, would pretend to be the X-Men.
All right, so just FYI, real quick, X-Men came out, first aired October 31st, 1992.
Yeah, 92.
Okay, so 92. I said 93, but I was not sure.
Close enough. Yeah. You're worn off by much. You're off by like
5 seasons, 97. Yeah.
That version of Apocalypse being brought back. Yeah, that version of Apocalypse is fucking scary.
So is Mr. Sinister.
Oh, I don't know. I always thought Mr. Sinister was someone trying to be more scary than they actually were in the original comic. Sorry, not the original comic. In the original cartoon.
I generally very much enjoyed Sinister in that. And I didn't read a lot about him in the comics. It was kind of funny. He just never really came up a lot in the comic books. I remember Apocalypse coming up in the 90s and everything. And of course, now, spoiler, sorry, I'm going to mention this. The last episode, you all know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You have watched.
Kenosha.
I am really stoked for the next season. Also,
when's it going to be released? When is it coming out? When's it coming out?
Let me see if it has a date yet. Series premiered March 20, 2004.
I'm too stoned to check it out.
This is on Earth 92, 131. I'm not seeing when the next season's going to. It's almost certainly going to come out next year. They were already working on it.
And Superman trailer dropped sometime this week.
One of the other shows that I caught up on was Invincible season 2, because season 3 comes out early next year.
Never seen it.
Oh, I'm actually really enjoying it. It's just as bloody as the comic book. They improve some of the deconstruction aspects from the comics. As in, like, even the creators were like, yeah, if we had a chance to do it over, what we're doing in the show is what we would have done. Basically expanding on certain things, killing certain characters earlier, letting other characters live longer. But it's always really interesting because when they do kill off a character, it hits. You know, it's always unexpected, or it has meaning, which is really different from a lot of comic books, because when you watch the comic books, when you read comic books, when a character dies, like 9 times out of 10, you'll know that they're going to be back in like 3 years.
Well, now we do. That didn't used to be the case.
Well, except for Melinda Hill.
It's been that case forever. And just to make sure, can you put something in the private chat before I bring you up? So we know that it's you.
A sheep is backstage?
Mikey Sue's 4.
So I've caught the latest episode of Dune Prophecy. Absolutely am loving it.
It's still on my watch list.
It's very interesting because, we're at, say, the second and third generation of the Bene Gesserits. And they're looking to consolidate their power and everything. And,
Yeah. Sorry for making you do that. I do that. I'm just trying to confirm identities sometimes because we've had people do stupid shit on my channel before, pretending to be other people.
No. I don't know that, and that's great, man. I'm totally honored that you decided to do that, because I do the same thing with my chats. As I always make sure I have it subscribers only, and then I just go ahead and do stuff like that. So, yeah,
what do you mean by stupid stuff? We always do stupid stuff on here.
And I was going to say, don't. Eliu and MB are on my channel nearly every week. I still make them do it on occasion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because somebody can steal our icon. So hey.
We've had some people use, like, Elihu. Didn't somebody try to impersonate you one time?
Yeah.
Well, on this channel, someone tried to impersonate Yvette, and one person tried to impersonate my own daughter.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
I can't believe they go to that extreme. That's wow. That's insane.
Yeah. Just so they could show, half a second of gay porn.
Oh jeez. Oh man.
Or their genitals.
It's like talk about getting a life. I mean, that's like 5-year-old shit. That's like grade school level shit.
You guys know Apex Comics, right? He's a good friend.
I'm not terribly familiar.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us.
Makes 3.
Well, I went through Comic Historian a couple times, and then there was let's see, we're the one of those that we just lost, clobbering times.
Yeah. Well, you mean Benny from Comic Historian? Yeah. That was definitely sad. who's taken over the channel since then? Because I haven't really seen a lot in my feed.
I have no idea, my friend. As far as I know, it's been inactive. I haven't seen anybody really attempt on it or do anything lately. So yeah,
That is what happened was so fucking sad. I mean, I sent the condolences to the family on Facebook, but
yeah.
I wasn't one of the major people for that channel. Just in the chats on occasion.
Yeah.
Any of you guys heard from? Sorry to interrupt, but anybody heard from Mr. Lundell?
No, Mr.
No.
Lundell
Nope.
is been trying to find a home. As far as LDG has told me, he still needs our help. So
Yeah, all right. Well, I can give you a little bit of an update. I was in the underground when he showed up, and I told him, find out what he said. He had the hotel for a few days. I said, find out what the weekly rate is. I said, tell me the weekly rate and let me know. And I said, I'll take care of it. So he sent me the weekly rate. I said, check your PayPal. He did, gave me the thumbs up. So he's got a hotel for at least another week.
Oh, that's good. Good job there, NB Geek. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is going to be the best I can do for this month. But shit, I send my ungrateful daughter a shit ton of money. I might as well send it to my fellow brother and compadre, who actually I know will appreciate the money.
Yeah,
no kidding. My ungrateful sister still owes me around $40,000.
Yeah, my daughter's getting up there. She's in the 30,000 range right now.
Dang! Wow.
Yeah, that's over. That's it. That's over an 8-year period.
Yeah.
Well, my sister doesn't know because at least she didn't know until my dad died. Was every time that she was asking money from our dad to help buy stuff like groceries, rent, a new car, stuff like that, he didn't have the money to help her. He was taking money out of me and my dad's joint account in order to give her money.
Yeah.
And when I showed her, she was like, "Well, how much do I owe you technically?" And I'm like, "At this point, about $40K." And she's like, "Well, I'll try to pay you back." And now she doesn't talk to me.
Yeah, this is the thing with my daughter. She hit the 25K mark at one point, and I was like, "Do you know how much money I've given you since 2016?" I said, I've given you 25,000. Now, what I'm saying, my grandfather used to donate, used to give money. My grandmother would just give money out to family willy-nilly. And there was my dad, my uncle, and me who were the biggest in debt. And my grandfather pulled me down to the basement one day, pulled up the ledger. He had a ledger of every dollar, of every cent he had loaned us.
I've seen one of those business ledgers. So he had his own personal, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Handwritten,
how much money
every little detail. Yeah. Wow.
What a penny pincher.
Yes,
yeah,
he
but
was.
Still better than any damn computer. if you know what you've already spent or know what you made or paid out or whatever, it's still the best deal.
He grew up him and my grandmother grew up with the people who went through the Depression. So money was everything to them. I mean, I'm a stickler for money just like he is, so what happened was that day I was about 17 years old. Wow. And he showed me how much my dad owed, how much my uncle owed, and how much I owed.
Wow.
I never, as soon as I saw my ledger, I never asked my grandma for a cent again. I was actually, no, I was ashamed that I had just been so disrespectful and just assumed the money was always there.
Right, but he accounted for all of it. I mean, it was detailed. So my mother and my current wife Suzanne are both old school. They are the ones that run the budget. Are you kidding? I couldn't run a budget to save my life. And my dad gave up years after they were married. So he said, no, no, you know what? You're running this. That's what you're doing, Mom. You're running this. And that's what Suzanne does. She runs our budget. So that's
Yeah,
how
that
we're
was
able to
one of the
survive because we can get through that.
that was
One of
one
the
of the
funniest
things.
times. Sorry, I was gonna say one of the funniest times when Caddy was a little kid, and I'm talking about like 5, 6 years old. She really wanted to do something, and I'm like, "Sorry, sweetheart, I don't have any money right now." And she goes, "I have an idea," and I'm like, "Well, what's your idea?" "Why don't you go to the bank?" I'm like, "Sweetheart, you think they just give me money? No, I have to put money into the bank, and then I can pull it out later. I
Yeah,
can't just
sure.
go to the bank and get money."
I
Yeah,
remember my
I
sisters.
understand. I remember
Yeah, I
when I had
remember
to get
my
explained
sisters.
how
Oh,
credit
sorry. Go
cards
ahead.
worked.
Wow. Yeah.
I didn't know how credit cards worked back when I was younger. And that was the problem. Our families didn't really teach us money management. And, I had to learn the hard way about
Oh,
money
so did
management.
I. Yeah.
I had to go through a
Well,
bankruptcy,
hold
a
on.
foreclosure, a repossession. But
Yeah.
at 26, I got it pretty good. I haven't bled myself, but I've been using my disability to help my daughter because we haven't been working on projects. But after the last money I gave her, I'm like, that's it. We're done. I'm like, you're drowning and you are bleeding us dry. I'm getting to a point
I have,
where
I have to ask NB. When you were in high school, you didn't have a class that taught you how to manage a credit card or manage a checking account?
nope.
Oh
Yeah. See,
wow!
that
Because
was the problem.
Wow.
We did
when
not
I was
have
in,
Yeah.
no, we did not have financial math.
we
Wow.
had part of our economics class. We had to do all that kind of stuff, and it was a
Oh,
mandatory
yeah.
class here in California.
Oh, it's mandatory here and there. When I lived back in Arizona, it
Arizona.
was definitely
Yeah,
It was not
required.
I grew up in
mandatory.
Arizona. I was about to say the same thing. I grew up in Arizona. I'm like, yeah, it was a mandatory high school
Oh my God,
class.
yeah, yeah. You had to take economics 101, and then
Yeah.
if you were a bit skilled, you could take the next level. And then when I went into college at ASU, I had to take general business. I had to learn because that was my degree. That's what I got in was business. So yeah, I had to
Where did you
learn,
go?
man.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to Paradise Valley High School.
Oh, damn it. Paradise Valley sucks. Camelback.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
come on.
So anyway,
Go Spartans.
yeah. Anyway, what
I know
happens
PV.
is you have my wife who will be like, "This was required in Indiana." I said, "Well, it wasn't required in Illinois." I'm like, "What do you
Yeah.
want me to do? I didn't create the curriculum. Economics was not a curriculum that was required. You know what was required? Senior fucking dance
Wow.
as a
Now here's
as a PE session. You had to take
yeah.
senior dance. That was a requirement. I took it as a
Oh,
freshman so I
she's
could just
senior
get it over
dance.
with.
It was PE
Uh,
or health.
yeah,
No, it was
that's
PE.
right. For
It
health.
was a PE thing. You had to do a mandatory PE
Yeah,
that
we had health
was
as
dance.
optional. Health
No,
class
it
was
Yeah.
wasn't
optional instead of
optional.
PE.
No, it
What
wasn't
I did
optional. It was
was I ended up
mandatory.
what I ended up doing was becoming a trainer for the last 2 years I was there at PV. I was the trainer for the boys varsity basketball team. And I got my letter and everything. So that was my training and my my free time. I got to be a part of that. That was a lot of fun fixing up wounds and shit.
Not only
Our
that, NB. When I was in high school, our health class
Yeah,
doubled as CPR certification. So you actually got every student got CPR certification.
I did
health
too.
class was
I got
taught.
certified training. I had to as basketball trainer. You have to have that. If somebody collapses on the floor or something happens, yeah, you got to have that. You got to have that. So yeah.
Health class was in middle school for me or junior
Oh
high.
no.
Yeah, that's where it was. I was in Coolidge Junior High when I took health class.
Damn.
Yeah, you want to hear something ironic? There's four of us kids, and I'm the oldest of four. My youngest, who's my sister Liz, was very bad when it came to economics. But then, in a very ironic twist, she ended up instead of going to college like I did, she went to banking school, and now she's a high-profile banker. I won't say which bank because I want to keep that private, but she's a whole high-profile banker, and now she controls not only the will that my parents will have when they pass away and how the money's going to be distributed, but she also controls a majority of the house that my parents still live in, and they own the rest of it. So that's really a weird twist. That's weird how weird that turned out.
In my let's see, I didn't get my bachelor's until 3 years before I retired. I had my associates. And my associates was in information systems technology. And then it was also my bachelor's was in the same thing. So
you forgot you got your BS when you were enlisted.
Of course, I got my BS when I was enlisted. You think I wanted to be an officer? I was too fucking old at that.
You forgot about that.
Besides, why would I want to be an officer? Why the hell would I want to be a butter bar and be busted back to the bottom of shit?
I can tell that you're a bit of a historian from your avatar. That's from the Civil War, isn't it?
That was actually made by Yetza. I have both science fiction and history and civics are two of my favorite hobbies, yes. And nice. I gave him an idea of what I liked. Civil War is an area I'm very, very particular of because people try to diminish it, or like the Revolutionary War, they kind of diminish certain things. And I'm more of a facts-based historian. I want to get both sides. Like, for example, I watched this Men Who Built America, The Frontier. And it gave and I think Mike was the one who even told me when I told him about it, I should put this on TikTok.
Right.
And he's like, of course, Mike, you just had to say you told me so.
Yeah. And just to go back to the avatar, my avatar is also a Yitzi creation, and the one that Elihu switched to just now is also a Yitzi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see that with the astronaut. That's cool.
Yeah, Yetza did a lot of these. I mean, Bird had how many avatars?
At least 3 that I know of.
Yeah, Elijah could look like the guy from Interstellar in the astronaut suit.
Well,
yeah, Yitzi did do 2 versions of mine. If you look at mine, the background character is supposed to represent my daughter, Caddy. And in the only difference between the 2 is in one, she's wearing a Star Trek Enterprise outfit, and the other one, she's wearing a Link from Legend of Zelda outfit.
Bigify your screen so you can see it.
Nice.
I think. Let me see if I can do that right now.
Yeah, that way you can make out more details.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, what Yetza did was he took our ideas and what we said, and he just knows how to run with them.
I told him, surprise me, and he came up with mine.
Well, you look at mine where... Oh, go ahead, Mike. Well, you look at mine here, and you see me with a Union hat on and a Confederate suit with the Ulysses thing, and it's because...
Yeah, that's a cross. Yeah, sure.
And then you see there's a little Enterprise in the background, Constitution class. This kind of represents a lot of my areas of interest. Because, well, actually right now, since I'm looking at my family history, I'm checking to see if anybody in my family, because the way it worked, my family namesake, we started out as far back as I could find, 1535. We started out in England. We went to Scotland. Then when we got off the boat, first one was in Pennsylvania. First read was in Pennsylvania. And then after that, we spent most of our time a long time in Virginia. So I'm going to look at the Civil War stuff and see if possibly any of them were part of the Confederacy.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I got
mean,
to
it would
fulfill
be the
one of
most.
my. Sorry.
Well, it would be
Go
the
ahead.
logical thing if they were in Virginia. If anybody fought, they would have most likely fought for the Confederacy, unless they were in what would later be known as West Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Now,
is an
now
interesting story in itself.
Yeah.
The creation of West Virginia is
Well,
very.
let's not go into it. Let's not go into this because Mikey wanted to talk.
Oh no. I was going to just say a lot of you should know about this place. I finally got to cross off my bucket list to go visit a Civil War site, and the one there is the Picacho Peak, and the Battle of Picacho Peak, which occurred between March and April of 1862, is the farthest Civil War battle west of Mississippi. And then every year every year in the spring is when the blossoms, those yellow blossoms come to bloom. And they have the reenactment is there. And I went one year with my folks and I got to meet some New York Zouaves, those guys that dress to the nines, they're
Yeah,
rich and everything.
I went out by Casa Grande when I was a kid and did that.
Isn't that a lot of fun? I'm telling you,
Yeah.
man.
When I was a kid, my dad took me and my brother to both the Battle of Bull Run,
Nice.
and we went to Gettysburg, and we went to Williamsburg.
Oh, nice. I still want to see Gettysburg. That's
Dude,
my lifelong dream.
Mikey,
I want to go to
when was the
Douglas
last?
Bend.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Mikey, when was the last time you were in Phoenix or Arizona?
The last time I was in Phoenix was back in 2017. I moved here to Canada, so I live here in Canada with my wife Suzanne now.
You are so lucky because that city expanded so much. Remember when it was a day drive to go to AJ? Now it's just part of the city.
Yes.
Well, you know that believe it or not, Phoenix is now one of the top 10 largest cities in the United States.
I know. Life pollution used to be a 6 when I was a kid. Now it's a 0.
Yeah.
One
right.
of the when I was in Cave City a couple of years ago, there was an area that had this World War II, or not World War II, sorry, Civil War house, and you saw the open field where the battle would have taken place. And
yeah,
I'm just looking at this open field and just like trying to imagine the Union and the Confederates just marching down that field, just waiting for the order to fire. And I was just kind of looking at it. I'm thinking, how bloody was this field afterwards?
Well, people used to take picnics and watch the battles, so
yeah.
Well, you know what?
I remember that.
Hold on. As much as I want to continue this, stream has been going on for 2 hours, and that's not including the mishap of the first stream. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. But since Mikey's new to the panel, I'm going to let you choose the ending clip. Do you know how I usually do this?
No, but I'd like to see. How do you choose it?
All right. I have a series of shorts that I made for both YouTube and TikTok featuring the Strange New Worlds musical episode mixed with other musical stuff from Star Trek.
Okay.
So I have, as of right now, I have uploaded to StreamYards the Klingon drinking song, the Klingon style song, the Klingon opera, Klingon war song, Klingon victory song, Klingon Dahar song. Then I have Doctor sings Sunshine, Data sings Life Forms, the Klingon prison song, Doctor sings Opera 2, and finally Data sings Blue Skies.
I'd like to see the.
Right?
Yeah. No. Blue Skies is from Nemesis, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. The wedding.
Yeah. The wedding one, yeah. No, I want to see the Klingon drinking. Go ahead and play the Klingon drinking one to take us out.
Alrighty.
More singing, more voices. Hail the Klingons, hoorah! Hejim
Tave deja I, exotas gos vaskrar by tik, and pajaj la mojaj push, jaj keles molo michok chu.
All right, you're 19 years old now. I figure it's about time you got one after all your complaining.
All right, and then I always play one of the clips of one of the Vile Kids because my opening theme song still references the fact that I started doing videos with my daughter.
Okay.
Even though, ironically, since then, I've accumulated 2 more daughters.
Keep it in your pants.
You're going to have to fit them somehow in your future videos or your shorts.
Oh, he has one of a pancake.
Yeah, there's that one too.
Yeah, cool.
And then, actually, Vile Style and I did a Kinder Egg video, which will be posted next year when I start doing videos again.
So
which, by the way, once I get my computer back up and running, I got to have you record that clip for the first episode.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Yeah, Mike, are you?
When I have that week off, we'll do it.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, are you doing Christmas in Mexico or are you doing in CA?
I have no idea right now. As of right now, because I had to buy the new car, I am so friggin' broke right now. It's not even funny.
Yeah, we're broke until next week.
No, I mean,
I'm gonna be next year.
I'm going to be broke for the next year.
Right. Oh, next year. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm broke next year.
I'm the only one doing financially well.
And blessings upon you, sir, for doing financially well.
Basically, I got screwed over by a corrupt cop. I already told you that. So,
dude, I found a deal on my weed with that post. Remember the post I showed you? I found a great deal in weed, so I'm doing okay on weed right now. So that was a good savings.
Yeah, but fuck you and that. Yeah, I said it. He knows I give him shit because he gets better weed and he gets it cheaper than I do, and he just walks to a store and I got to drive to another.
Yeah, 5 blocks maximum.
All right. Well, I'll yap at you guys next week. If I do a Vile Volt stream, I'll at least post it to Blue Sky so Eli, you can spread the word.
Take care.
Right, nice beer.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead and do Blue Skies. Sounds good. Yeah,
oh, you want to do that one too?
What's that?
Oh, you wanted to do Blue Skies too?
Sure. Yeah, if you want to do Blue Skies, that's good. Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Then I'll just end the stream. So later, folks.
All right.
All right, guys. Take care.
Never saw the sun shining so bright. Never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by. When you're in love, my how they fly. Oh, blue skies.